So my name is Jason. I'm 43 years old and I am a 7th grade millionaire. What that means is the last grade I ever completed in school was 7th and my net worth is over $1 million. So I never had no GED, I never went to college, none of that. Dropped out of school in 7th grade. After I graduated, never went back for 8th grade and started making money, started working hard. I never did the traditional things that everybody wants you to do. They tell you to work hard, they tell you to get a job, you get good benefits. I never did those things. I don't recommend you do those things either. One big topic is, in America today is everybody wants a home loan, right? And they think that that is the magic bullet. Like, you're gonna get this house, you're gonna live happily ever after. It's not like that. Nowadays, they want you to sign a 30-year mortgage. Smart people will sign a 15-year mortgage, but traditionally it's a 30-year mortgage, and it's gonna be a fixed rate. You're gonna know exactly what your payments are every single month, and hopefully you got a job for the next 30 years. Well, with the economy the way that it is, even when the economy was good, who knows? Nobody's 100% sure they're not going to get sick. You get cancer, you get, hurt and you can't work, whatever it is. If that happens, you're going to be homeless, and all your money you put into it, you're not getting it back out. I mean, you're not going to refinance if you're sick or if you can't work. A bank's not going to loan you money. You're not going to get a home equity line to bail you out of the hole. You're going to lose your house. So to sign a paper that says that you're going to pay, let's say, $1,200 a month for the next 30 years, plus maintenance, plus insurance, plus taxes, that's crazy. So here's the very first thing you do. If you want to make money, if you want to be financially independent, you want to be wealthy, work. That's fine, however you want to work. I recommend working for yourself. There's plenty of jobs. You can have a cleaning service and make more in a week than most people make in a month. I mean, if you're self-employed, I know somebody that is 18 years old and he has a power washer and he makes over $1,000 a week. Power washer, a couple basic chemicals. Goes around, does driveways, does, porches, he power washes houses, and he's getting $1,000 a week. So you pick up something that you make money at. Going to a job is not necessarily going to be financially beneficial, except for the guy you work for. It's going to help him a lot when you show up at 8 a.m. and you leave at 6, and he's only got to give you $400 a week. You'll be doing him a big favor. But if you want to be financially independent, the way to do it, get some money together, okay? Get your hustle, whatever it is, as long as it's legal, okay? You never break the law. Here's why. Whatever you have accomplished, whatever you have, got together over the, let's say, 5 years, if you're doing something illegal, when you get caught, and you will get caught, the government's taking it all. So, number one, it's got to be legal. It has to be. Okay, so let's say you power wash driveways. Okay, let's say you do the power washing thing. This is an example. What I did was I bought and sold cars. I started when I was 14 years old. Cars actually used to be in the newspaper back then. You would open the newspaper and you'd see a car for $650. You'd go over, make sure it run and drove, offer them $500, they'd take $500. You'd take it back to your house, clean it up, and you'd ask $995. It would be sold within a day or two and you made $400. So you could do that 5 times a week, So here you are, whatever age, I was 14, making over $1,000 a week. I made more than my biological parents did. I came from zero money, zero. We were by far the poorest people on the block, if not the poorest people in the entire neighborhood. And I know if you watch so many of these YouTube gurus, these financial wizards, that they all say that they came from poor. We never had a Christmas. We never had none of that stuff. And it wasn't because we were religious. It was because my parents were poor. And poverty is passed from one generation to the next. See, your parents can't give you they can't give you good financial information because they haven't gotten it themselves. So look, I'm not looking for people to send me money. I'm just simply trying to be the parent or the mentor to somebody who wants to make some money and they don't know how to start, and they don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. So you get some money together. You're the power washer. You fix cars. When I say fix cars, if you're gonna do the cars, don't be putting engines in them and stuff like that. You just find them, clean them up real nice, make sure it's safe, maybe give it an oil change, make $500, make $1,000, go on to the next one. Do that 2-3 times a week. What I'm getting at is, and I know I'm getting from one subject to the next, but okay, first, the key to being wealthy, get away from the 30-year mortgage. The way you're gonna do this is, you're gonna buy a house cash. Depending on where you live, I live in the Midwest. House prices are everywhere from $5,000 to a shack in the ghetto to the house that I'm in right here is about $600,000. This is my house. I own it free and clear. I wrote a check for this house. But I work like hell to get it too. But yeah, so you're gonna pay cash for a house. You wanna find an okay house. Maybe you can get it for 10 grand. If you bust your ass doing a side job, not going to Walmart and working stocking the shelves, I mean, that's not a bad thing, but I think you could do a lot better. If you do that, you get the house, the fixer-upper, and everything is on YouTube. People say, oh, I don't know how to do a roof. I didn't either. And when I was doing it, they didn't have a YouTube. So you can get advice from people. Hopefully, you're asking it to the right people. But so you're gonna get a house. It's gonna be paid for. Maybe it takes you a year. I don't see how it could take you more than 2 years. You get a house, it's paid for. Now, the money that you would be putting in to a mortgage payment or to paying rent, whatever it is, you're gonna have taxes, but those you'll always, until you die, will always be paying taxes. So the money you would be putting in for rent, you're not putting in rent. You're not making a house payment. You go to Menards and Home Depot and you start doing the carpet and you paint it up. It's not very difficult at all, believe me. If I can do it with zero construction experience, I promise you can do it. Especially the way Facebook is. You put an ad on your Facebook. Hey, I'm looking for, a drywaller, and 16 people will inbox you. Hey, I need to make some money. So this is going to be the easy part. The hard part is you get the money, you save it up. After that, you find the house in a decent neighborhood, or if you want to get a house in a not so good neighborhood, that's fine if you don't have kids. If you got kids, just work a little bit harder, hit the pavement. Find that house that's got an okay neighborhood where there's not gunshots all the time. Get it bought, pay cash, make it the nicest house on the block, and then you're going to go move on to the next step. That is the very first step. That is everything in a nutshell that I can think of to tell you right this second. Let's see what I'm missing. The goal is you're going to rent these houses out, and everybody will tell you to go to the bank and get a line of credit. But you want to build your credit, you only got to put 10% down. Listen. I don't work for a bank. I've never had a bank help me in my life. I've never had a loan from a bank, ever. At this stage in my life, I look back and I say, that would have been so easy. But you know what? People make big mistakes when they're doing it with other people's money. Because when you have to just sign on a dotted line and you're 150 grand in debt, that's easy. Now go work with that power washer. Go make 150 grand with that power washer and see if you're just you won't sign that away because you busted your back for it. You got to be very careful with money that you earn with your own two hands. So I would say avoid credit. I did. You can work your way up. You got your first house, right? You still got your side business. You got your first house ready to go. You go buy a second house. Okay, same deal. Fixer upper. In about the same neighborhood. You're gonna want to stay in about the same neighborhood. But people are going to tell you get a loan. Please, for at least the first 5 to 10 years. Stay totally away from the banks. You do not need them. You absolutely don't. And, you know, you're going to get advice from people. Grant Cardone, very fun guy to listen to talk. Very fun guy. But if you think about it, you know, the guy is soliciting you. He wants you to invest in Cardone Capital. So that's why he's saying, hey, don't buy a house, not to mention the markets are different. Houses where he's at are probably going for $800,000, you know, for a 2-bedroom ranch, a 900 square foot, you know, ranch, 800,000. You know, we're in a different world. If you're in the average U.S. city, Chicago, parts of Ohio, you can get houses for a reasonable house, something decent that just needs paint, carpet, patch the roof, replace a couple windows, 20 grand. And I'll do an episode on that. I will show you. I'm going to go do 10 houses in one day. I'm going to go walk through 10 houses and show you 10 houses that aren't that bad that you can buy for $20,000 that are fixer-uppers. So you're going to get the one. That's your fortress of solitude. That's where you're going to be, you know, building your empire from. The first one that I ever bought was a crack house. It was a great neighborhood, but the people had just absolutely ran it down. I gave them 20 grand for the house, and I came back 2 weeks later, and they were still living in it. So they told me, oh, you got to call the police, and you got to, you know, get a lawyer and get them to move out. I knocked on the front door. I said, hey, I'm the guy that bought this house. And they said, hey, we don't have anywhere to go. I said, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you $500 if you're out by the end of the night. The guy says, do you have that money with you? I swear to God. He said, you got that money with you? I said, yeah, I got it right here in cash. He said, give it to me, I'll leave. Gave it to him. He gave me the keys to the place. And that was it. We were all done. And so that was how I got the tenants out. And you know what? When you become a landlord, you're going to be dealing with evictions. You're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff. And I've got 20 years experience doing exactly this. Houses, cars, businesses. You know, these people like Grant Cardone, they want you to invest in Cardone Capital. Or I've seen some pretty entertaining people, you know, and they're getting paid big money to do it, but nobody's actually doing it to help anybody. I'm going to do this to help people, and the only payment I want is when my techniques work, just drop me a message, say, hey, you were right about this. Or if you're in the process of doing something and you have a problem, call me. We're going to get a phone number provided. I'm going to get a second cell phone so that you're not blowing up my family lines when I'm trying to be with my family. But we're going to get a second number. You're going to be able to contact me, you know, probably 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday. And I'll talk to you through any of the problems that you have. Just to be clear, I've been on my own since I was 14. I moved out of my parents' house when I was 14 years old. You know, some things happened, whatever, I got in some trouble. 20 years ago, I started my life over. Doing everything the right way. Not breaking the law, not doing anything. I started with $50. Honest to God, truth, I had $50. And I've grown that $50 into a net worth of maybe $5 to $7 million. Now keep in mind the net worth. And here's something else that most people won't tell you. Most people in the finance world, they'll say, "Oh, my net worth is, I got worth about 600 grand." And you say, "Okay, how did you come up with that number?" Well, I only owe about 200,000 on my house, and it's worth $6. Okay, yeah, so there's 400,000. Where's the other 200,000 coming from? Well, I got this car and this. Listen, that's not how net worth works. If you're going to calculate your net worth, excuse me, it's getting late. You take what you have. Let's say it's a house. Say everything else in the neighborhood is selling for 500,000. But you think yours is selling for 500,000 or for 600,000? Absolutely not. Yours is probably going to sell for 5, if not 450. Because whenever you want to sell something, it's always, you wind up selling it for less than it's worth. Then the realtors, then they're going to take the last year's taxes out. You're probably going to wind up with 400 grand. So when people calculate their net worth,
they're doing it all wrong. And there's a method to it. I'm going to show you how to do it. If you got something you need me to answer, please let me know. When tomorrow comes, I'm going to give you a tour of my house. You can see that I'm not a YouTube warrior. This is the real deal. I live in a beautiful house. It's probably too nice for me. You see I got a Carhartt on. It's because I actually work for a living. No suits, no dress shirts. This is it, Carhartt. I got a truck outside. It is a brand new truck, but I work it hard. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be fun for me. It's going to be fun for everybody. So thank you guys for clicking. Please hit the like button. That is the only thing I'm going to ask you to do. Hit the like button. Feel free to comment. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you hated it. And we'll be getting you another episode real soon. And we'll talk about some other areas of how to make some money quick, good money, and legal money. Because like I said, only legal. Always pay your taxes. Always keep it legal. I'll see you guys later.